I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night for Colombia.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I mean, all of Colombia is in the streets tonight, going crazy. Well, last night probably. Going crazy. It's a party in Colombia.
Yeah, celebrating that win over Germany.
Yeah, that was quite a game. We are going to talk about that game in a second. I hope this video goes out sooner rather than later, because overnight there's going to be a few very important games that I am excited to watch. But what we're going to do in this video, we're going to talk about Norway Philippines game. We're going to talk about the Germany Colombia game. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the programming involving the World Cup with some of our favorites, the Christen and Tobins, the Mewis, the Midge Purces. So look out for timestamps down below, because we're going to touch on that as well. First and foremost, who is watching every single game? Because Sarah, going into this, my mindset was going to be like, I'm going to watch every game. I'm going to record every game. Every single game I'm going to watch in full.
It's exhausting.
Then I realized there was only so many hours in the day from working.
Yeah, it's not doable.
Yeah, from working, we both work, and then doing the videos on top of that, and then watching the games and sleeping. So it's very hard. So my first question to everyone is, who is watching all the games? Are you able to? Are you somebody who watches the matches you really want to, and then kind of just looks at the highlights of other games?
Do you ever sleep?
Yeah. Do you ever sleep? Because what Sarah and I generally will do, we'll generally pick 2 games a day to watch in full, and then the highlights of other games. But the 2 games Sarah and I watched today, we just watched them in full. Norway and Philippines, Germany and Colombia. But, we watched the Norway game first against the Philippines. And going into the Norway game, we know the drama. We know the team isn't happy with Hege Riise. They don't seem to like her. And they don't seem to like her based on, I saw a quote. I don't have the quote in front of me, that they say she's not good at communication. She's not good. If I find the quote, I'll put it on here. But paraphrasing, she has plan A and then no backup to plan A.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I can see how that's problematic.
Right. And so a lot of people going into this game said, although Philippines is not the toughest team, you never know. Norway has lost 1 game, tied 1 game. Mm-hmm. Going in, you just don't know. And also, Hegerberg, still out. She wasn't playing. That was released a couple days ago, that she would not be playing in this game. So all those factors, you're kind of going into this game saying, what's going to happen? There could be a surprise again, based on this whole tournament right now. It's not unheard of if the Philippines were to beat Norway.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they came out hot. They were ready, In
the 6th minute, Sophie, Román, Haug scored.
Yeah, and I was pumped to see that. They got on the board early. It was good to see. And that was actually the fill-in for Hegerberg. So she said, I'm filling in and I'm filling in.
She showed up, yeah.
Getting in there and scoring a goal early gives you confidence, But going into the 17th minute, who scores again?
Sophie, Román, Haug.
Yeah,
another one.
And then, as we know, the kind of drama around Caroline Graham Hansen spoke out against Hege Riise, then apologized. Mm-hmm. And the commentators were mostly saying, she said that. It's probably not the best idea to air grievances in public like that.
Right.
But Sarah and I were talking about this. Maybe it helped behind the scenes, actually. You know what I mean? A lot of people could disagree with that. But if anything, she scored in this match. She scored in the 31st minute. Going into the halftime, it was 3-0. And I think at that point, most people kind of saw, okay, Norway's here. They're not going to lose to Philippines. Because the Philippines, to be honest, Philippines didn't play great. But that, as we've seen in this World Cup, you never know every single day. Sarah and I were just talking about this. Any team can beat any team. It doesn't even matter.
And you never know when there's going to be a comeback.
Exactly. And in the 48th minute, there was an own goal on the Filipino side.
Yeah.
Those are always tough,
Devastating.
You never want to leave the World Cup saying, I had an own goal, it sucks. In the 53rd minute, Norway was awarded a PK.
The moment Guro went down, I mean, she was looking at the ref and was like, where's the PK? Where's the foul? She wanted that PK.
Automatic in her head. And then they reviewed it and they gave it to her. And then Guro took it.
And she scored. She made it.
Beautiful. Then in the 67th minute, then we saw the red card. Is that the first straight red of the tournament? I don't think so.
So I think what they said is because her cleats, the way it came down on the other player,
okay,
it like hit her shin / the top of her foot.
Okay,
I guess if it hits the top of her foot, maybe that's an automatic red card.
Oh, okay.
Because the ref called it was aggression. We've seen wilder plays that look like, oh my gosh, she intentionally completely bodied that. Tried to kill her. And that's not anything, but this, I guess, on a technical side, would be a red card.
And the player who it was Sophie Harrison for the Philippine side. She was almost in shock and stunned. She goes, took her a while to leave the field, but that was the call. So that was unfortunate to see Philippines down one player at the 67th minute. In the 90th plus 5th minute, Sophie Román Haug scored her hat trick with another goal, and that was kind of it. I mean, the Philippines didn't play great. I saw this commentary online. People don't think necessarily Norway played amazing. The Philippines didn't quite bring it.
So Norway played better. In this match.
But that's just a confidence boost. You go and win 6-0. There's nothing that can replicate confidence. If you know what I mean. If you go in somewhere with being confident,
no one can stop me. I'm on the way up. Is that how it goes? Is that right?
It's like, yeah, exactly. So what this actually means, it actually means Norway has advanced to the round of 16, which is the way it works is just kind of wild depending on what group you're in, because Norway had a loss and a tie. Then they won 6-0. From their group, Switzerland and Norway are going on. So I'm pumped. They're having a lot of problems. I even think if they do well in this World Cup, I still think Hege Riise is probably not going to last too much longer after the World Cup, after being the manager. Even though Norway did lose their manager last year, so who knows? Maybe Norway's a tough group to manage. Maybe that's the thing. I actually don't know. I don't follow them close enough to have a personal opinion on that. And I will say, Philippines, their fans have. I was so pumped to see them do well. I mean, them beating New Zealand. So Philippines are out, but I was so pumped to see them do well against New Zealand. They beat the home nation and a team I don't think on paper they were necessarily supposed to win, but they beat New Zealand. They had a great game. Leaving the World Cup as a first-time World Cup team to have a win is pretty cool.
That moment of history made for your country. And
their fans, like the Filipino fans, for the Filipino soccer fans, are like everywhere.
Love it.
I see like the clips online or clips on either TikTok or YouTube, whatever, and the amount of people who have watched those clips, probably the Filipino fans, it's like hundreds of thousands, and they're just like all about it. Even in our video, we had briefly mentioned it. A few people said, "Oh my God, thank you for mentioning the Philippines," because they are so proud of their team. They love them. And during the broadcast, they kept talking about boxing's big there, but they love women's soccer.
Oh, they must love kangaroos then. Those kangaroos box. They box each other.
They do. Speaking of passionate fans, here we go. Colombia, Germany. Those Colombian fans showed up in Sydney. I have never, like I said, we don't actually always watch the anthems and stuff because the way we record our videos, if we're not watching them live, they usually cut the anthems. They just start right at the game. I have not heard an anthem that loud in the stadium other than the Australia or maybe New Zealand anthem. But every single person in that stadium was singing the Colombian national anthem.
Yeah, the players were screaming it, and the people in the stands, just wild fans.
Yes.
I love it. Love to see it. I love to see a crowd that just shows up and is loud.
Passionate.
Love it. Yeah.
And then, I guess I'll mention this first. Sarah and I were like obsessed with the Colombian kits. The favorite kits of love those kits.
Like outer space theme.
Yes,
very cool.
Very cool.
And I love purple.
Yeah, those are even the commentators mentioned it. But going into this game, the Colombians, we know that it doesn't, on paper, what's supposed to happen doesn't happen. First game, we said Germany's here. They won 6-0 their first game. They mean business. They're hungry. They're not losing. That's what I said. So you go into that mindset saying, Germany really showed up the first game. But Colombia, they won their first match. So it's kind of like both these teams are hungry.
Well, Colombia showed up with half of Colombia.
So. They did.
They brought the fans.
Going into the game immediately, it started out, it was a physical game. A lot of the commentary I saw online were saying, even though Germany's big, even though Germany is strong, even though Germany is tough, Colombia is not going to be intimidated by all those things of Germany. They're not intimidated.
They weren't backing down, and they came to play a physical game as well.
Yeah.
They know how good of a team Germany is. So.
And they kept saying, Colombia's being physical, but just physical enough to where they're not getting a foul or they're not getting a yellow. So right. I think that was
playing it smart.
Yeah, that was one of their tactics, because we saw Alex Popp go down a bunch of times. And obviously she's a big target. She went down a few times. But the commentary I kept seeing, and I guess I'm jumping ahead here. Germany wasn't playing bad. Colombia was just playing better, specifically their defense, specifically their backline. Any opportunities that Germany were kind of getting, Colombia shut it down. A lot of people say, Alex Popp wasn't finishing her chances. There was a few balls Alex Popp really should have. If they wanted to win the game, Alex had to connect with those chances. And she wasn't. So that was one of the criticisms that says, Germany was not playing bad, but Colombia were just beating Germany at their game.
I saw this in The Guardian. I'll just read a little bit of it. So, the secret to stopping twice World Cup winners Germany, the assistant coach said, was to nullify their aerial threat by preventing them from getting crosses into the box. We are an excellent team, not only with the physical, but also with the technical stuff, he added. We knew this would be a very physical match because Germany would be attacking on the flanks. The 6 goals that they scored against Morocco were mainly from the flanks, so we had to block them.
And, that's what they did. They really had a game plan in Colombia. I feel like Colombia said, we're not losing this game. I really feel like Colombia really had some, prayer circle at the beginning that said, we're not losing this.
Some of the players kept touching the ground.
Yes. The 42nd minute, Alex Popp almost scored. It was very close, but, it did not connect. Halftime winning 0-0, thinking, wow, this is a game. Here it was in the 52nd minute.
Linda CAICEDO scored a goal.
This goal, world class. No one was stopping this goal. It was
beautiful.
The angle that she had, the way it went in. there was no stopping this goal.
Even Alex Popp was impressed.
Yeah.
At the end. Not while they were playing.
There was no stopping this goal. It was going in, and it was a thing of beauty. A beautiful goal. Linda C, she killed it. She crushed it.
Linda C.
That's what I'm calling her. She's 18, and everyone in the stadium by the end was chanting her name. It was.
I have to point out the way she went out to the stands. She went out to the stands and high-fived some fans.
Yeah!
Those fans should not wash their hands.
Yes!
For a long time.
I haven't seen a lot of players do that.
Because usually they run to the bench, to their other teammates. So love to see. God, it's like the Colombians. They're here for the fans.
Yes.
They're doing it for the fans.
They were so supportive. The fans They're so supportive of each other. Yes, such a good point. But again, any opportunities that Germany were having, Colombia was just shutting it down. Germany wasn't playing bad. Colombia was just playing better. In the 80th minute, I'm actually not quite sure. Linda actually went down, and we didn't know what was going on. It wasn't for very long, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because the commentators said in training there was reports that she was having chest pains.
That's wild. She's 18.
I know, so scary.
It's concerning.
And it's good thing they're not playing the heat. That's another thing. Does everyone like that they're playing in the cold weather? I can't decide if I like it or not.
If I was a player, I think I would prefer cold.
I think I would.
Than hot. I hate the hot weather. It's
but the
worst thing you could do to me.
Yeah. But when you run and it's cold and it gets in your chest, when you're running and it's cold.
Yes, but how cold is it? It's
That's
not
true.
That cold. It's like a cold fall. Right?
Yeah, I think it's 60
not like a crispy,
Fahrenheit.
I'm not playing in the winter. That's absurd.
And I know WSL, the Bundesliga, they play when it's snowing, so that's cold.
Yeah.
Okay. So then in the 86th minute, Linda came very close to scoring again. Very close. And at that point, I'm thinking, okay, I think most people there thought, okay, this was probably going to end up 1-0. That's what I think people were thinking.
Right.
Because it got to the end of the game. But
very close to the end of the game.
In the 88th minute, there was a foul, which was ended up being a PK. But the breakaway that that Germany had, that was the only way to stop that from being a goal, was to foul. So I think the goalie was taking her chances, saying they're either going to score now or I'm going to try to save a penalty kick, which we have seen a lot of saved penalty kicks. So maybe she took her chance, saying, I'd rather try to save it one-on-one.
Yeah, because, maybe she heard that that PKs are cursed.
Yeah. I think the percentage of completion's a little bit better now, but for a while they were really bad.
Yeah.
PK, who takes it?
Alex Popp.
And then even the commentator said it wasn't the best PK from Alex, but she got the job done. At that point, 1-1. And at that point, I'm thinking they tied it up. It's going to be a tie. I don't know why I'm thinking this, because surprises always happen at the end of games. But I'm thinking it's going to tie. And then the 90th +7.
We have another Colombian goal. Manuela Vanegas scored.
And the crowd went wild. I mean, the crowd, it was like they were in like a home team, like a Colombian crowd, like in Colombia. The German players were just kind of shocked. I saw their faces, and not to say that I'm rooting for Germany because they've had a lot of heartbreak, but I felt bad for the German players. Yeah. Colombia is such a great story, and I love Colombia's story so far. But they won, and I was pumped. I was pumped for the fans. I was pumped for the team. I was pumped for Linda. I was pumped for Manuela. I was pumped for everybody.
You were a little too pumped there.
That was the story. 2-1. The game was over, and not to say this was Sara's favorite moment of the match, but
it was.
There was a super cute moment that the broadcast in the U.S. showed it, and we only saw a minute of it. We actually recorded the replay, so there could have actually been more moments. But
so at the end, you see the players shaking each other's hands, and then we see Alexandra Popp go over to Linda, and she gave her such a cute look and congratulated her on her first epic goal, and grabbed her head, and it was just so cute.
It was so cute, and it just shows how she was probably devastated, even though it's not a knockout round, but everything. But she was probably devastated that they lost, and she was so sweet to her and said, good job.
Talent recognizes talent.
Yeah, that was really sweet. And Alex, and at that moment, she could have just been like, yeah, thanks. But that was really sweet. I'm
going to replay that moment.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get it tattooed on my arm. I loved it.
So this is Germany's first group stage loss since 1995. So
wow. That's big.
Yeah,
for Germany.
That's making history for Colombia.
It's just the theme of this World Cup. The rest of the world is now with the Germanys, the United States, the Brazilians. It's like there's no differential. It's like anyone can beat anyone. Everyone is moved up, and Germany lost.
It's like every game is like a reset. It's like no dominant team.
Yeah. Germany's actually play the very last game of group stage. They are going to be the very last game. They will be the Germany v Korea. South Korea will be the very last game of the group stage. So that was an exciting game. We loved it. Sarah and I were cheering, pumped for Colombia.
Yes.
Kind of sad for Germany and Poppy.
Sad for Germany, but happy for Colombia.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Very exciting.
Who watched that game, and was everyone tied to their seats? Also, Morocco played South Korea. Morocco scored the goal. South Korea is out. I feel bad for South Korea because I really was rooting for them, but they are out of the tournament. Switzerland versus New Zealand. This kind of surprised me, a 0-0 draw, because Switzerland has been playing pretty well, but New Zealand host nation is out, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
They had that game, and then Ali Riley crying and everything, and then it's a pump for them. That was their moment. That was their moment of New Zealand soccer, but now out. But they don't have to. They can maybe hang out and watch all the games because they're local. So I think so. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, we're going to talk about this again on another episode, but I kind of wanted to, I want to see if people have been watching some of the commentary shows, some of the players that have been putting out content about the World Cup. Kristen and Tobin are doing a show on the Re-Ink. It's on their platform, but it's everywhere. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. I think it's everywhere. Who has been watching that? We're going to do a longer form video about some of their cute moments, but we've never seen Tobin and Christen like this. So goofy, so silly, so relaxed, so just, it's everything.
Yeah, it's like we're sitting next to them on the couch, watching the games together, and just shooting the breeze.
Yeah,
how do you say it?
And like them guys kind of talking, or like like everyone see the clip. It says what's their favorite karaoke song, and then Tobin says "Don't Stop Believing," and then Kristen's like, "You're disappointing me." I mean, those kind of moments, super cute. Then Tobin actually interviewed Viv Miedema and asked her about the Netherlands USA game, and they talked about it. I mean, watching Tobin and Viv talk about their teams playing in the World Cup and what they thought, I mean, it doesn't get more interesting than that to me.
I know. It almost feels illegal to watch.
But who has been watching that? I think we're going to do another video just kind of maybe talking about some of them, but I mean, but they look amazing. Kristen is, I mean, as sparkly and as beautiful as ever. Very fun. Also, Sam Mewis is joined Men in Blazers, which is very famous soccer show commentary. But she gives such good insight, obviously. And someone made this point on, I don't know if I was watching TikTok or Instagram, and they said these players, especially probably Sam, because her best friend and her sister are on the team, the insight they must have into the way everyone's thinking. I mean, Sam could probably say everything that they're thinking because she probably knows.
I know.
And is probably doesn't want to make any of that, doesn't want any of her commentary to reflect what personal information she knows about the actual situation.
Right.
So it must be a tightrope walk to her sometimes about some things. But I mean, her commentary, very cool. And also they had Becky Sauerbrunn on there, and they reacted to the game, and that was very cool. So who was watching that? Love Sam. Actually, if someone were to ask me who my favorite player in the U.S. women's national team is, I would say, obviously she's injured right now, but Sam Mewis. I would actually say that.
Yeah,
I love her. Also, Midge, Purce, and Katie Nolan are doing a show, and Katie Nolan is hilarious. I mean, my favorite clip ever is her with the three girls in the back seat. She's soccer mom. That's one of my favorite clips ever. But her and Midge Purce are doing a show. So relaxed. I mean, the clips I've seen, I haven't seen all these in full. I want to.
I love how unimpressed Midge is.
Yeah, she is so unimpressed and so kind of like just says it how it is. And I love that. They're great. I love it. They're great together. And Katie came up with this really funny song about
what? No subs. Subs ain't coming for. I don't even know it. You know
remix. It's the remix. That was hilarious. And that was hilarious. And she's right. You know, people keep talking about Subgate. Oh, Subgate.
Oh, not the submarine.
I know. I was thinking that too.
That's a different story.
But who has been watching those three shows? I do want to talk about it more in depth at a point, but it's the group stage is almost over. What do you think? This is a long video. We've been talking for 40 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Questions, comments down below. We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.